no choice than to just grind it, put in the work, hustle. I always say that when I'm with anyone, I'm not always the smartest, but I will out hustle anybody in the room, any day, anytime. If they are putting in 8 hours, I'll put in 16. And it's been one of the biggest secrets of my life. A lot of people around me, I noticed that's the same thing with them. Up till 1 a.m., Chief Dele Momodu was still up. I was just saying, won't this man rest? He had a very busy trip from Rwanda to Ghana to Nigeria and back to Dubai. I expected him to take some rest, but, Baba is still, pushing and pushing and pushing.
Let me give you another of my favorite quotes.
Yes.
Children of poor people cannot afford to sleep too much.
Hey! I love this. This is probably my favorite. Rema. This flesh and blood do not resist this. Wow.
Yes, children of poor people cannot afford
to
sleep too much.
Come on, this is powerful.
And I will give an icing on the cake again from Chief Abiola.
Yeah.
He said that poverty is a stubborn goat. So the whip you use to chase it away, don't throw it away because it will always come back. So you will need it.
Powerful.
Yeah.
So let's repeat that. Poverty is a stubborn goat.
Yes. So the whip you use to chase it away, don't throw it away because it will always come back. Poverty always comes back.
Jesus,
if you are not ready to fight poverty will catch up with you again one day.
Wow.
So
you
have to keep working.
Wow.
You just have to keep working. Wow. Now, Dr. Steve, we're sitting in a Rolls Royce in Dubai and everything. People will think, it's so easy. No, it's no government money, nothing.
Exactly.
It's hard work. So that is why children of poor people like us, no inheritance, we cannot sleep too much.
We cannot sleep too much. Powerful. Children of poor people cannot afford to sleep too much. Poverty is a stubborn goat.
It will always come back.
So the whip
you used to chase it
away,
have it handy. Because you will need it.
Because you keep needing it. You need to keep using it. Like the level of hard work that your generation had. I mean, it was natural to work hard in your generation.
No, it's not that they don't want to work. I think what we had to go through.
Yes.
Imagine if you were doing arithmetic or mathematics in school in those days.
Yes.
Everything was manual.
Yes, you have to use
Today, you can sit down in an exam and be using a computer.
Absolutely.
So, I don't think this generation was prepared for that level of difficulty.
Yes.
I will call it difficulty because in fact some subjects were considered so difficult that a lot of people will run away from it.
Yes.
But these days things have been simplified. You can be on social media. You don't now everybody's a journalist.
Yes. Artificial intelligence just passed law exam.
You see?
So
it is unbelievable that you want to go somewhere now. You are not thinking, Joe, can you do or not? Can you tell me where to go? Everything is provided. But I now say that it is the more reason why we should be able to make it. Because if you sit on the internet as a young man now, you will find something you can do. When I was booking my hotel in Dubai, so I made a call to Hilton Honors. And so after we finished booking, I asked the man who was speaking to me, I said, where are you based? I thought he would say, I'm in America or I'm in London. He said, no, I'm in Malaysia.
Wow.
So, so that's what happened.
Attending to you probably
and I was in Nigeria.
Wow.
So you call only one number. And that number goes to Malaysia. You are not even, but the number is a +1, which looks like America.
Exactly.
So which means if you search the internet very well, you will find something you can do. So when people say, you don't rest, it's because one, I've discovered what I love. You must know what you love. So my priority is reading and writing. And then, how do I make money? I was telling Dr. Stephen Akitayo yesterday, I said, look, I discovered that PR will make me more money than publishing. But publishing, we open the door for the PR.
Powerful.
Yes.
Powerful.
So, a lot of people don't understand that. How do these people make it? It's, you must discover one, what you love, and you must have a passion for it.
Very true.
You must go all out. Nothing must disturb that flow, and you must be focused. And tribulations must come. So don't let tribulations knock you out. It's like boxing. So poverty is like a race of boxing. You will see that one time they will say it's Muhammad Ali, another time it's Joe Frazier, another time it's Foreman. You know, so you must be prepared to knock out your enemies.
Come on. Knock it out.
You must knock them out.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Keep the enemies guessing. Let them get angry. Let them, but just make sure you have your punches. And what do you do with that? You prepare.
Wow.
That's what they call training in boxing. You must train. If you don't train, it's not possible. You can't just wake up and say, I want to be a world champion without training. So there are different levels to it. Preparation, readiness, then victory, and that is glory.
Wow. Powerful. Guys, feel free to ask Chief question. We're here. We're going to tour another property, but feel free to type your question. But before I take the next question, there's a song, you know, we sang together after the election. Remember? Can we sing it?
Which of the songs are?
There was an Obey song. Remember? You posted it on your page, and I had to call you, and we sang it together. Even me, I'm trying to remember.
I sing Obey a lot.
I'm trying to remember. I think it has to do with you cannot decide my future, or my future is in the hands of God.
Ọ̀rọ̀ mi lọ́wọ́ Olúwa àìmásìkò ló ń dààmú ẹ̀dá o. Ọ̀rọ̀ mi lọ́wọ́ Olúwa àìmásìkò ló ń dààmú ẹ̀dá o. Ọ̀rọ̀ mi lọ́wọ́ Olúwa.
I want to sing that song because that's also another powerful message. How we are not patient. How important is it to be patient when things are not working or going our way? And just be still. Someone was asking me a question. I was doing the show before you joined. And someone was asking me a question of how do I handle pressure? I said my number one is I shut down. I don't make decision when pressure comes. Once there's pressure,
you need to clear your head.
I just stop everything. If I tell people, I say, boom, I'm not doing it again. I'll just stop everything until. So, how is it important for young people? Because, you know, ọ̀rọ̀ mi lọ́wọ́ Olúwa àìmásìkò, meaning not knowing time is what gets.
And not being able to see the future.
Yeah.
Because we're not clairvoyant. So you cannot see the future. That's why we all worry. But if we do the needful, if we do what we need to do, and play our own part, ultimately the reward will come. But if you're there just throwing tantrums, you're angry, you are not happy, this person, how is he doing it? Your God has provided something for you. You must find that talent that God has given you and make the best of it. You know, a lot of people don't know. They will say, I don't know what to do. Sometimes people will come to me, can you make time to talk to someone? He's your friend. What can we find in his ministry? I said, no, you have to do the legwork first. So go and find what is available. And then when you find what is available, then people can now say, oh, this thing is available. Then it will be difficult for that person to say no. Yeah, you cannot want something from a man and you still expect the man to be thinking for you. It's not possible. You know?
Powerful.
Yeah, so that's the way it is. You must do the legwork yourself. Look, I tell people I didn't come to Lagos until I was 28.
Wow.
That is why it was too difficult for me to change and become a Lagos boy. I am a bush boy who was born, bred, and raised in Ile-Ife.
Yes.
And when I came to Lagos, I never forgot what brought me to Lagos. It was poverty that drove me to the. Otherwise, I wanted to be a teacher or lecturer in Ife or anywhere around. Marry a teacher and live happily thereafter. But I knew that I couldn't get a job, so I came to Lagos. And when I found a job, I held on to it. Oh my God! Till today, I've not allowed that job to go away.
Wow. I don't know why my audio always go off. People are saying audio off.
Oh, your audio. Wow.
I don't know why. But the question we're going to start with, so that I don't forget, I'm going to restart again. It says, if you could flash back to your undergraduate days, what's the lesson that you will give your younger self? Emancipating answer. This is by Olaoye. So guys, I'm going to start all over again. I realize the audio is off again. I'll start again.
Okay. Wow. I hope the audio of this is okay.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Okay. If my audio is okay, can you please give us thumbs up?
Yeah, let's know.
Let's know that the audio is fine.
The audio is good from your end.
Because Dr. Akintayo has a way of getting out the best.
This is another interview already. In the Rolls Royce. Okay, we're back. So the first question is, flashback to your undergraduate years. What is the advice you give your younger self? If you go
well, for me, undergraduate was not straightforward. I finished my first school cert in 1976. And I had a poor grade 3. 1976. Wow. Then in 1977, my mom encouraged me to sit for the exam again. I did. It was the year of the Orijo when there was mass exam leakage. And so my result was withheld.
Wow.
Then my mother sent me again a third time in 1978.
Wow.
But life was better then because between 1976 and 77, I became an errand boy at the bookstore. I was able to find a job as an errand boy. So I used to, sweep the floor, clean, the desks and all those things at CSS bookshops in Ile-Ife. Then thereafter, I became a village teacher in a very remote part of Ile-Ife. I became a village teacher. Thereafter, I got a job at the University of Ife Library between 1977 and 1978.
It's before you enter university.
That's before I entered the university. That's why I said you have to prepare. So that was the period I was preparing myself for the journey ahead. So in 1978, I sat for JAMB. We were the first set of JAMB. So we were the first set of JAMBites. And so I was admitted to study Yoruba at the University of Ife. That was before it became Obafemi Awolowo University. So we entered, and when we started, we were about 70-something that started. By this following year, we had dropped down. By the time I finished, there were only 6 of us that did Yoruba single honors. Everybody ran away.
They felt it wasn't a worthy course.
I know some people felt it wasn't funky enough. It wasn't trendy.
How can you tell people
that you are studying Yoruba? Even my mother asked me, I was saying, I used such a dollar that you will go to university to go and study Yoruba. So at any rate, I was able to complete that, and I was originally posted to Bauchi State for my national service, but Bauchi bounced me back to Ibadan because the headquarters at that time was in Ibadan. So I went to Ibadan and told them that Bauchi says they don't need a Yoruba graduate. And that was how they now forwarded me to Ile-Ife, where I was born. They sent me to Ife, Oyo State College of Arts and Science, where I lectured Yoruba and part-time English literature. And so that was the gig. But the lesson for me
the advice was that your younger self.
We had loads of celebrity lecturers. I don't know what has happened. You can't imagine a Wole Soyinka teaching you in class in those days. Those were the caliber of people who were sitting around us. We had lecturers who came from abroad. One of the greatest African poets, Okot Bitek, the Ugandan poet, was in Ife. He was teaching us. We had one of the greatest poets out of Africa from Malawi, Professor David Rubadiri. He was teaching us. So you can imagine the Dr. Yemi Ogunbi is, you know, Dr. Okoli Omotosho. These were big names. Professor Wale Abimbola. I mean, Dr. Akinwumi Shola. In those days, these were writers. Akinwumi Shola wrote Oleku, wrote Efuncheta Aniwura. These were people that we used to read about, and now they became our lecturers. So that really inspired us. I think the Nigerian government must do everything possible to make teaching attractive, so that our students can benefit from the wealth of experience of these great teachers. So the moment you start your foundation with that caliber of teaching, there is no way you will not. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to be a lecturer.
Because all your role
models. I mean, a vice chancellor was like a governor in those days.
Wow.
You know, so the lesson for me is that you must prepare. Then don't wait for lectures only. Now you can study on your own without talking to any lecturer. Go on your telephone instead of sitting on the phone, busy abusing people or chasing girls or doing whatever. Please, that foundation is key. When people say I'm a good writer, I can tell you that before I became a writer, I had read what great writers had written. Before I started traveling, I already knew so many countries just from reading. I'll give you an example. If I wanted to talk about Cameroon, I read the books of Mongo Betty. I read the books of Ferdinando Yuno. I read the book of Mbelasoni Dipoko in Cameroon. So I already had a graphic picture. The first time I went to Douala, when I went to Yaoundé, I already knew from reading the books.
Wow.
Before I started going to Kenya, I read the books of Ngugi wa Thiong'o. I read the books of Meja Mwagi. So, and Ngugi in particular influenced me greatly because he was so radical in his writing.
Wow.
Then when you talk about Ghana, I read about The Beautiful Ones Are Not Yet Born, written by Yikoyama. I met him eventually in 2016. I'd always looked forward. So Ghana, I knew a lot about Ghana even before I started going to Ghana. I read the works of the founding father, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, the Osagie GFO of Ghana. And, you know, it inspired me about Pan-Africanism. I read about the Mwalimu, Julius Nyerere in Tanzania. I read about Kenneth Kaunda in Zambia. You know, I read about Jomo Kenyatta, Ojinga Odinga, and all of them in Kenya. You know, I read about Leopold Sedar Senghor in Senegal. You know, I read about life in Egypt by reading the works of Nawal El Saadawi and Nagui Mahfouz, who became the second African to win a Nobel Prize in Literature. So that background was there. It wasn't as if we just woke up one day. We had no rich father, we had no rich mother. In fact, I lost my father, it will be 50 years this year.
Wow.
I was 13 years when I lost my father. So,
when did you lose your mom?
My mom died in 2007.
Oh,
you know, so when you look at, that's why I said children of poor people cannot afford to sleep too much. That is what kept pushing me.
Children of poor people
cannot afford to sleep too much. I didn't want to go back to that poverty. So I had to continue to work. And then one lesson I also learned was about being independent. Till today, that is my approach. Some people will disagree with me, but I love my independence. You see, if you want to make yourself a voluntary slave, then go and attach yourself voluntarily to your slave master. I learned that right from school, that my life is dependent on God and my hard work. Don't think anything is going to be easy. The people you expect to make life easy for you, they will disappoint you ultimately.
Very true.
You know, so that has been my lesson of life, and I pray that all the people watching us will learn one or two things from this and get inspired. And those who don't learn, I hope maybe from other sources they will also learn. You know, because nobody can give it all.
And life is a teacher. It's a very good teacher.
Endless university.
Poverty is also a teacher.
It is. It is.
So guys, I hope we answered your question. Do you have question there? If you have any question for Chief Dele Momodu, feel free to ask. And if you're watching from my own Andrew, I don't mind pulling you up as well, so you can just send a request and we'll pull you up, and you can ask your question from him directly. So if you have any question, feel free to ask. I will ask, why did you love traveling? I mean, you are one of the most, traveled Nigerians. I'm trying to join you people's list, I think.
You have joined already.
Obasanjo, yourself, who else?
Chivemkeo in those days.
Yes,
Abiola.
Of course, Chivemkeo.
Yeah, he traveled so much.
I think those are the two major that I can recall now that travel a lot. So,
and imagine without having private jets.
Exactly, without having private jets. So my question is, why is traveling that important to you?
Traveling is a form of education.
Yes.
Everywhere you go in the world, you will pick up something new.
Very true.
Even there are countries I've been to 10, 20 times, and every time I go, I discover something new. Especially a place like Dubai.
Yeah.
If you haven't been in Dubai in the last 5-6 years, you may be confused because a lot of developments would have come up, in your absence. Yeah. So, for me, traveling is a form of education. I'm able to network.
Yes.
I meet people at airports. I meet people on the flights. I meet people at the business class lounge.
Yeah.
And those contacts become eternally useful to you. I was in Rwanda last week.
Yeah.
If I hadn't been in Rwanda, I would not have met the FIFA president. I met virtually everybody. I even met the Rwanda president in Nigeria before when he was a guest of Mr. Tony Lumelu of UBA, the chairman of UBA. So he had invited him, I think, about 2 years ago. So, but traveling for me is the most exciting experience.
Wow.
I just love it. It's the only time I am totally free. You are absolutely in the hands of God when you are in the sky. You have no power. If anything goes wrong, pray it doesn't go wrong. So I'm able to relax. I'm able to read. I can eat. I can read good. I can eat good food. I can have a drink, and I am just absolutely happy. So I love to fly, and it has helped me to achieve a lot.
And broaden your exposure.
In fact, I don't see myself as a local champion. I always tell people, one of the things I learned from MKO was that don't make yourself a local champion, be the global champion. So I remember one song that Wasiu sang in those days. Tombale become Akolisi. Dele Tombako any Nigeria Wakukala London. Ashe London you do. The meaning of it is that if they don't want you in your country, you must have an alternative. And I remember Pastor Paul Adefarasi also preaching that you must have option B. So that helps you. When you have an option B, you know that in case of trouble or tribulations, you have options in your life. I've worked very hard for those options, and I intend to keep them.
Interesting. So Dubai is just giving us a weather warning, because of flood in some areas.
Oh yes.
You won't see that in Nigeria.
The sophistication here, even in Europe, in parts of Europe, unless you search for some things on Google, you will not find them.
You will not too. Somebody was asking about funding.
Yes.
Audio is out again. I think what they just did made it out, so we'll keep starting.
I think there is poor network. It could be due to the poor weather.
Yeah, it could be that. The poor weather.
Funding.
Yeah, so
do you have any question here?
Or somebody is asking that why did you support Atiku and you rejected Tinubu?
Okay. No, it's a very good question. It's a question I like to answer. Number one is that I am a member of PDP, a very proud member. Democracy is about choice. So I'm a proud member of PDP. I contested to be president of Nigeria on the platform of PDP. So if I had won, would I withdraw because my friend in another party is contesting? The answer is no. So number two is that I looked very critically based on my experience that of all the leading candidates, who do I think will be able to keep Nigeria together? You can see the kind of thing that happened in the last few weeks, whereby now the Igbo are supposed to be against Yoruba, Yoruba are supposed to be against Igbo. You will not find a man like Atiku in the midst of such a calamity. Then the other thing is that Atiku Abubakar, for me, has demonstrated his personal capacity as a public officer and as a private businessman. Most politicians in Nigeria live perpetually. They live like parasites on state resources. And that is why Nigeria continues to go down. But I've seen in Atiku Abubakar, and anybody who is a businessman, if you're not a businessman, you will not appreciate what he has done. Yeah. For a man to be out of government since 2007, and he's still very relevant, he's able to run his own business without having to run to any governor for anything, you must salute him. So, and then it tells you that he has the business acumen, he has the requisite experience for him to lead a major economy on the continent of Africa. So those are some of the reasons I supported him. And if I had the chance, trust me, if you ask me 20 times, I will tell you that Atiku, for me, remains the best candidate in the race. He did what he needed to do, and then we leave everything else. Now it's at the level of the judiciary, so I cannot comment beyond that. But I was convinced that he will make a good leader for Nigeria.
Beautiful. So let me add to this.
Before you add,
yes,
let me also say that as a Democrat, I never stopped anybody from supporting their own candidate. My friend here, Dr. Steve, is an obedient.
Yes,
me and him, we remained friends. And we never disagreed on it. Every time he calls me, he will say, hey, we are winning. I will say, no, you can't win. They are winning. And that's the beauty of democracy. Say by choice.
Absolutely.
I have friends who are dire. In fact, most of my friends are in APC.
Yeah.
And I tell them that is their own business.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
So when I see people who fight and get angry over politics and democracy, I don't know why. But for me, it is not about friendship. Patriotism is your loyalty to your country and not to a person. Thank you.
Powerful. One of the things that I also think is very important, and I think that's even what I want to say, is the fact that Nigerians need to become more mature. As much as we condemn fiscal thuggery, there's also social media thuggery. There's also emotional thuggery, which I've seen in the course of the election. If you are forcing me not to choose my candidate because you think I'm supposed to vote somebody because it's Yoruba and Yoruba, I think that's rubbish. You can intellectually argue with me why your candidate is better than mine, and let's have the conversation.
Superior argument.
But you cannot almost force and attack me for who I decided to support. You know, I saw people attacking me because I supported Peter Obi. And it didn't just make sense. And I also saw Peter Obi's obedient members attacking people because they supported somebody else. I never, even as obedient, attacked anybody for who they chose to support. In fact, I encourage most of my friends who were APC, who felt they were scared of being attacked on social media, if they publicly said they were so, particularly those who were celebrities, I encourage them to speak up. Right, because that's the beauty of democracy. Choose your candidate, stand by your candidate, and let the best man win. That's the way you should be. But lastly, which is why we're here, what's more important is also your own personal finance. Because the reason why Chief Dele Momodu can leave Nigeria now, is in Dubai, is in Rwanda, is in Ghana, is because he's not a politician. He doesn't need to wait for politicians to survive and to take care of himself. And we Nigerians have to understand that politics, yes, is important, but you have to work on your personal finance. Because if because government will not be responsible for your personal finance, even when there is a good government. There are poor people in Dubai, right? There are poor people in Dubai. In fact, here in Dubai, I was shocked when I was hearing that people sleep on bunk. In other words, how expensive rental is, some people cannot afford one room to themselves.
So they have to share.
So not even 2 people in a room. We're talking about 8 people.
Wow.
So the only thing you have is your bunk. And there are couples who hire a bunk, husband and wife. That's right. In US, there are poor people.
Of course.
In UK, there are poor people. So even with the right candidate, you and I have to take personal responsibility for our own finances, and we must make sure that we do everything we can to work on our own finance. And that's why teachings like this are important, conversations like this are important, and they are way more important than our argument as to who win the election, or who did you support, who did you vote for, and who you didn't vote for. So
and by the way, those leaders don't fight when they meet.
They don't. Trust me. Very soon,
they meet,
very
they
soon you
don't.
will say
During the campaigns, my boss, Atiku Abubakar, and Asiwaju met several times at
They
airports.
greeted
They will
laugh,
backflap and do everything.
Yeah.
That's the way it is. Leaders don't fight.
They don't.
It's their followers who break their own heads. And like they say in Yoruba, the man who uses his head to break coconut will not be there to eat out of the coconut.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All true. For those who are obedient, all true. Tap it will be meet Atiku. He said, that's my boss.
That's my, yeah.
If he meets Tinubu, he said, that's my older brother. So it's you that come out and you're attacking people and messing up good relationships. So I don't want us to lose the question. Even if I have to answer, I will answer as well. He says funding. When you started Ovation, he didn't mention Ovation, but he's talking about
how do you fund
small
a business?
Yeah. You started, you need money. How do you go about funding?
There's a process to it. The first process is that you must have a business plan. You must first identify what you want to do, and why you want to do it, and why you think it will be profitable. And for you to know if it will be profitable or not, sometimes you need a consultant who can help you with a business plan. It doesn't have to be a big consultant. It could be a brother, it could be a mentor, or someone that you know who has done it before. So when you do the business plan, it tells you everything that you need, the nitty-gritty of your requirements before your business can take off. We did our own business plan around 1995, 96. And we realized that we needed about £150,000 to start Ovation. And if you sold my family from first generation to last generation, we couldn't come up with that kind of money. But we were determined because we had the raw talent. So it was that raw talent. If you don't have the raw talent, it's going to be difficult for you to do a good business, because you must have an idea of what you want to do. If you don't know what you want to do, then how do you want to do it? So we started talking to people, and my uncle was the first man to put down £10,000. So, but £10,000 out of 150. Even our bank manager at the National Westminster Bank in London, he said, no, it can't work. Most people will doubt you when you are starting out. But if you have the understanding and you have the preparation, and you are ready to take the risk, because business is like gambling. There are no guarantees that even if you spend £1 million, that you're going to be able to recoup your money. So we did our business plan. We were able to raise about £20,000 initially. Then, wahala. What do you do with £20,000 out of 150? So I decided that what we needed was to buy a good image for ourselves. So one of our partners who was supposed to start with us actually pulled out. He said my ideas were too fantastic and too flamboyant. How can I say we should go and spend 14,000 out of 20 on renting an office? He said it's pure madness. I said no. A man who is damned should fear no fall. So I wasn't afraid. So we needed to buy something tangible. Till today, trust me, if I have $1,000, I'll still think of what can I do that is tangible. Otherwise, we are going to waste the entire 1,000 on nothing. Till today, you will not believe it. Because me, I'm a very generous person. If somebody comes down to cry to me, I need help. But immediately I get that 1,000, I have a budget for everything. So when you talk about funding, it's about budget. So what can you do immediately that can take you nearer your destination? So get the money if you can. Sometimes you have to borrow, but me, I'm afraid of borrowing. I'm a bushman, like I said. It's people in the city who I see today. When I go to hotels, they give me your credit card. I say, no, I don't have credit card. Because I don't want to spend what I don't have. Credit card gives you that false sense of having what you don't have. Then at the end of the month, when the credit card people come back to ask for their money, you may not be able to pay it.
Very true.
And that's how you are going to spoil your record. So if you can start small, there is nothing wrong with starting small. It is not every business that must have an office. If a lot of my younger ones, when they come to me, I want to register my company. I say, yes, it's good to register your company. But what do you want to do with the registration? If you want to start an Akara business, and you say you want to start from registration, you want to, as most people think, because if you are thinking about big funding, you may never get it. See, intelligent people, I always like in the Yorubas to the Greeks of old, the philosophers. They say, Onako Waja. There are many roads leading into a market. It's the same thing in business. There are so many things you can do, this and that. I know people in abroad, they will do one job in the morning, it will end at 10, they will take another one at 12, they will, you know. So that preparation is always very key.
Wow.
I hope that helps a bit.
Powerful. I mean, powerful. That's very important. I would just add to it, which is sales. Up to today, all our businesses, we've never taken one bank loan. Our secret has always been what we don't sell, we don't spend. Right? Well, I mean, it's given me bad reputation with some employees, you know, but it's just the rule. If we don't make the money, we will not spend the money. So when people come to join our company, I always tell them, we are not going to take a loan. We must make what we have to spend. And if we don't make it, we start downsizing. When things get back again, we resume, we employ back up. So selling had been my own biggest secret. I'll just keep selling. How did I start real estate? I didn't have capital, but I was selling for other companies. And my commission, I wasn't wasteful. Before you know it, I started buying my own land. Today we have more than 20 estates of our own. Same thing here in Dubai, right? The minimum capital I need to start development here in Dubai is not less than $100 million. So rather than saying I'm waiting for $100 million, I've partnered with all the good developers here. I've been selling their properties, right? Running to tens of millions of dollars. And I'm getting my commission. One day you just say, hey, we are building this tower. It's at that point, young people will now say, he's so lucky.
Maybe somebody has given him money.
Maybe Chidele Momodu.
Or it's Atiku who has given you
exactly.
money.
Maybe Chidele Momodu link him to Atiku. Right? And they just release money to him and, you know, he's building tower. All this, you know, I keep selling every day. And I was saying this to somebody, a mutual friend of ours, who looked at some of my stuff. You do Rolls Royce, you are in this, you do, but why are you not controversial? I said my secret is that I show my hustle.
So anybody who wants to complain is free to complain.
It's free.
You can see me struggling and you are complaining and I'm enjoying myself.
Exactly. So I show my own hustle. Nobody will tell you what does Steve Akitayo do. You will know. Except you are not following me. You will know. Today I tell you I have this property, come and buy. I have this land, come and buy. And I'm not ashamed of my own hustle. And it has kept me out of controversy. Well, nobody attack me, as it were, for living in Burj Khalifa or for being Rolls Royce or doing anything, because the people know what I do. But why that happens is also selling, because I'm always selling and putting forward what I do. Even when it comes to investment, I've got several people who say, okay, I'm not buying your house or I'm buying your land, but I'll give you this money. Every year, they're giving me returns. Right? But that is how we have sourced. And I think that will happen to you as well. You may not get bank to give you money. If you continue to sell and you build credibility and you are showing up every day, people will approach you and say, you know what, we may not buy your product, but we'll give you capital to expand your business and keep giving us returns. So I hope we've answered your question. By the way, before we take the next question, Chief Dele Momodu is having a networking event. How many of you are in Dubai? If you're in Dubai, just type Dubai, whether you're watching on this page or my page. If you're in Dubai or can be in Dubai this Thursday, just type Dubai. So he's going to be having a networking session with Africans in UAE. Or even if you're not an African, you're free to come as well. You know him, he's built a global brand all over the world. People love Chief Dele Momodu. And it's free. It's a coffee time with him. There's no fee. We are giving you coffee for free.
You're not paying anything.
You're not paying anything. In our office, Al Musa Tower 2, GTEC Sub, Al Musa Tower 2, 2404. So you can, if you are interested, send me a DM at Stephen Akita, because we need to send you us your name, your email, and phone number, just so that we have an idea of total number of people coming. Adesak, send me a DM right now. Burkina X Factor, send me a DM. Do you have somebody on this page as well who is in Dubai? So if you're in Dubai, just send me a DM
Dubai
right now.
Dubai, Kuwait.
So
Dubai.
So they can join virtually too.
So you
okay, we can do a virtual.
Yeah, but we
but
might
prefer physical.
Yeah,
so we can
one-on-one,
interact.
so that you can network with him. Some of you are talking about you need connection, you need networking. He will help you go meet him and ask him, okay, how do you support my business? How do you link me up? All that. So send me a DM, because we just need to have your number, your full name, and to know total number of people coming, so we can make preparation. Send a DM. It's going to be a great time on Thursday. The time is 5 p.m. In the afternoon on Thursday. Then on Friday, if you can't make Thursday, on Friday evening, 7 p.m. at Enish Palm, we'll be having a hangout as well. That one is also free, but you'll be responsible for your food. It's a restaurant, it's owned by my friend. I can't be paying for your food as well. Okay, so it's on Friday, 7 p.m. You can come for that as well. It's free. Also for that as well, we need you to send me a DM. We'll give you a number to send your details to, so that we just know those who are coming. We'll tell the restaurant to prepare enough meal for you guys. So it's going to be a great time with Chief. We're at our destination. We're going to be streaming again the properties we have available for you to invest in and buy. We love you, but for now, bye-bye.
Thank you. See you soon. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.